Welcome. Do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Exclusive.
Well, it's very interesting concerning 2023. And also, who shot himself on the leg. Now, the headline, which says appointment and how Adeleke shot himself in the foot. This is coming from Murik. Now, an Islamic human rights organization, the Muslim Rights Concern International Corporation or thereabout, on Wednesday accused the newly sworn-in governor of Osun State, Adeleke, of deceiving the electorate. Politics Nigeria reports that Murik said Adeleke shot himself on the foot by appointing three Muslims, Rashid Olawale, Kazim Akinleye, and Teslim Igbalaye, as his chief press secretary, chief of staff, and secretary to the state government, respectively. I don't know the narrative, how he shot himself on the leg. I don't know. As in, well, maybe according to Murik, that's his opinion, thereabout. In other words, I would say Adeleke has been with his team for a longer time. I could remember this should not be the third time, or should not be the second time. Rather, the third time, Adeleke Ademola is campaigning and looking for that governorship position. And I believe those have been working with him all this while. I believe that they are Muslims and Christians, and I don't see any narrative that is negative here. But what I know is that everybody is entitled to his opinion, and at the long run, let's see and know how this puzzle or narrative goes, because I can't really puzzle it now. You understand? Muslim, Christian is none of nobody's business. I don't want to know. Do good is doing good. Whether you're coming from Islamic, respectively, from Christianity, respectively, doesn't matter where you're coming from. But doing good is what doing good. So let's know the narrative as it is. Now, the group also demanded to know, is Governor Adeleke a Muslim? Okay, is Governor Adeleke a Muslim, Christian, or a traditionalist, or thereabout? Murik's criticism and demand were made known in a statement issued by its director, Professor Akintola. Now, the statement reads, there is no gainsaying that the newly sworn-in governor of the state of Osun, Ademola Adeleke, has taken people of the state for a ride. Well, there is ambiguity about the scripture used by the governor during his swearing-in ceremony. As an integral part of the electorate who elected him into office, we are interested in the faith of the governor. Now, we have the right to know the faith of our governor. It is part of transparency and accountability. We are asking Governor Ademola Adeleke to come clean about his creed. We demand to know what scripture was used by him during his swearing-in ceremony. Was it the Quran, the Bible, a cutlass, a gun, or nothing? It is important to know as voters and as people who pay tax into the coffers of the state of Osun. It is part of accountability. If he used the Quran, he is a Muslim. If he has used the Bible or any other thing, is a Christian or thereabout. If he had used a cutlass or a gun, then he is a traditionalist. We have no quarrel with him if he used any of these three, because it means he believes in God, whichever way. Now, the storyline still continue, but I just want a break in transmission from the narrative. Okay, earlier on I was saying that I don't know where the narrative is going, but as it is doing good, it's doing good. Now, Murik, Professor Akintola, continued. It's not like I have a beef for him. If he says the right thing is the right thing. If he had said the wrong thing, now that is where there will be disputes. But notwithstanding, he gave us the narrative that he was sworn in without cutlass, maybe representing the traditionalists. He's not coming in or swearing it. He wasn't sworn in by the Bible or by the Quran or thereabouts, that he should rather be transparent. But I don't know how Professor Akintola think about, or how his thought is about this. That is what it is. So I don't know his thoughts about this, and if I may say, I'll say, well, he has a narrative, but at the end point, we should come to an addendum and a benchmark to realize that we are on the positive side of the narrative. Now, he said, but if he was sworn to the oath without using anything, it means he is an atheist and a carefree person. The people of Oshun must be wary of a carefree person on the driving seat of governors in the state. He is not likely to be fair to adherents of any faith, and neither will he respect their beliefs, yearnings, and aspirations. Wow. Yeah. Now, on the positive side, I just want to be positive, and I want to dwell into this narrative. Professor Ishak may be saying the truth as it is now, but need to be told, truth be told, from my opinion, I stand to be corrected. I've seen Governor Adeleke Ademola many times, but few, and he has been dancing. And most times when I see him dance, he dances in the church. Yeah, and church is a replica of a Christian or thereabout, or where Christian worship, they call it church. So I've seen him dance and doing so many things, and swearing in or not swearing in, I don't know, because the narrative we had with our Nigerian leaders, whenever they want to swear them in, they rather use the Bible, use the Quran or thereabout. But I have noticed that the last time I checked, they swearing in, and they just use the Bible in blasphemy. They use the Quran in blasphemy, and you think God won't be angry. So if that's your belief and you want to swear in with the Bible, continue to do that. If he doesn't want to swear in with any other thing, either the machete or the colors, iron or God of iron or thereabout, if he's an atheist, he is left to him. Him with God will puzzle that. But notwithstanding, Professor Ishak Akintola is making a point here. So everybody have their own belief, and everybody should puzzle that. But puzzling it, there shouldn't be a judgment. There shouldn't be a negative narrative. Even if Professor Akintola, even if it's not correct, he's correct, he's not correct. He brought the opinion, and that is what it is. So I don't need to go further. That to just go to direct point by saying, if he's the governor of the state and he's ready to follow the policy, the system, and he's going to do good, let it be. So, but on the other end, the storyline still continue. Now, in the same vein, the governor's appointment of three Muslims, Rashid Olawale, Kazim Akinle, and Teslim Balai, as his chief press secretary, chief of staff, and secretary to the state government, respectively, is more of a smoke screen than anything else. Well, in the first instance, if Adeleke has been deceiving people in the state regarding his faith, nothing stops him from picking rebranded non-Muslims and presenting them to the public with Muslims' names. We make this statement without a prejudice to the three appointees mentioned above regarding their level of iman, which is the faith. But the onus of clarification is on the governor and his handlers. This is a common phenomenon among rulers in the southwest. Muslims who have compromised their faith are often presented as a Muslim and made to occupy the Muslims' sloth, whereas such appointees work for the interests of non-Muslims in office and keep real Muslims in abeyance. Wow, that's another narrative. Now, from interwoven, from puzzling, you get one narrative from one to another, and it keep going, and dissemination of what information should be cordial and should be moderate. But notwithstanding, everybody have a opinion. But in our next article, that should be the second half of the day. So time may not permit us to puzzle more. Well, this is what I'm going to do the content. I would like you to share views in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe and say like. Yeah, have a nice day.